Collective, hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. We got the Argonaut lady. Bubble your boundaries. Okay, I don't really remember. I mean, it feels like it's pretty self-explanatory, but we'll read it just for funsies. Sometimes you just have to live in your own bubble. Your energy and vision are worthy of being protected. This moment asks you to treasure your value and guard it with a bubble of protective energy. This isn't just about an ability to say no to what doesn't serve you. This moment is more about you holding space for Source as it lives in you. Resist looking to an outside source for that sense of protection, a romantic partner, intimate friends, family. Right now, your challenge is to honor yourself as the beloved. Cast the sacred circle around your body and soul. Imagine facing your current reality from within its loving, protective embrace. You get to choose what enters that sacred space and what must remain outside. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that because it feels very like all of a sudden like bubbled. But the only time we feel the need to like bubble, like magnetize that shit is if there's something that like enters our field that is not okay. I don't know. Let's do clarifiers. Yeah. These cards are so beautiful. Okay, we have the Three of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups, and then the Empress and Temperance. Okay. Betrayal. We had the Eight of Pentacles the other day. I really like the stories in these, you know? They're so pretty. Repetition does not always equate to boredom. In the Eight of Pentacles, we discover this insight. It is the card of one who is learning with dedication and attention to detail. It is also about the ability to learn the basics of a craft or skill in order to make it our own, then give it our personal imprint, like someone learning to write and going through a very standardized cursive before arriving at their own unique handwriting. Here, we encounter someone who is learning an art form, one day at a time. Be it a physical discipline, a state of mind, or another philosophy, it is surely something that will change them and to which they will offer their own personal creative take. In the card, the craftsperson and the artist coexist, like the skill and the inspiration needed to make one's reality a vision, or one's vision a reality. Sorry, dyslexia. Okay, Six of Cups. In the Six of Cups, we make a journey to the past. What we see, however, is not exactly what has been, but what has remained in us as a shining seed of our imagination. The connection with our roots and the presence of childhood memories in our lives is the main meaning of the card, which carries with it a certain sense of nostalgia. Perhaps we have thought back to our past as something that will never return, and yet at the same time, we are a living result of that past. Our deep roots can nourish the present, even if we experienced a difficult childhood. We can remember what was good for us because it can be inspiration for our actions as adults, for our present. You know, I just feel this sense of holding your boundaries, but in that space of holding your boundaries, I just feel like a merging of the two worlds. Right? I feel like part of this Saturn and Pisces experience has been this like world of illusion and reality. And there are people who live in illusion and there are people who live in reality. But I feel like these people who have lived in illusion have robbed like an experience of reality from like excessive delusion. And so I feel like that boundary is that like only the only stories being told are stories of reality, stories of a vision that has become a reality. I feel like there's this sense of being protected from this illusion world. But I think that in like this illusion world being boxed out, I think that now the imagination is enabled to fuse with the reality, right? Because imagination, vision, dreams are not the same as illusion and deception, right? And I feel like they've been interchanged as deception is wont to do, blur the lines. And I think that there's been this, like removal, right? Like Saturn's like, Big Daddy ain't having it. You know what I mean? Like the removal of the deception, the removal of the illusion that prevents the, the coming together of the vision and the reality. And I love that. That's fantastic. Box them fuckers out. Oh, shit. Okay, let's start with the Empress. The dawn has just passed, and the air is crisp and filled with life. It is the time of the Empress. Her presence is pure life. Often associated with Mother Earth, she is the embodiment of all that nurtures, creates, and comes to life. Everything touched by her energy is transformed. The Empress represents the electric, quivering moment of life coming into the world. Whether it is a new project, a new relationship, a new journey, or something to be discovered or explored with the five senses, it is sensuality, pleasure, love, confidence in who you are and what you can become, just like the first day, laden with desires, like the roses with which she is surrounded. She is able to radiate love and care, starting from her beating center of life, the heart. Like the morning rose, follow your nature and let your heart open. Remember to do so in a safe space, just as the rose protects its vulnerability by showing its thorns. I love it. I do. I feel like there's a safe space, right? Like I I really the world astounds me in such a massive way, but like everything that's going on with these files and these women coming forward and sharing their story and the backlash of a community that they don't believe these women, and if they really knew, you know what I mean, like their desperation to cling to such filth is shocking and appalling, right? But I feel like that's a world that we've existed in, and yet, like in finding the good, like where is the good? Where is the commonality? Where is the, like we will band together, we will overcome. Like we will no longer be silenced, we will no longer be victimized, and we will no longer engage in communities that set us up and situate us to be repositioned to be victimized again. You know, because that's exactly what happens when there's no accountability. And I feel like there's the sense of bubbling out illusions that were deceptive, and stepping into a reality of a vision that is protected. Because I feel like that's so vital, and why do all these women have to protect themselves from mass groups of ignorant people? Like what reality is this even, but I feel like there's this sense of emergence, but this emergence feels very protected. It feels like the deception and the illusion is being boxed out, because the deception and the illusion has no place in the reality of the vision, right? Power, love it. Okay, Temperance. Temperance is the alchemical card par excellence. Here, opposites merge and a balance that brings something new to a current situation is achieved. Temperance moves you forward, working out a path made up of what you know and what is still unknown, but is the result of different experiences. A magical, multifaceted card related to water, it changes shape, dissolves and integrates, smooths and transforms. The central figure holds two cups from which an almost golden liquid flows like evening light. With temperance, the middle way becomes the path to follow. allowing us to integrate the various parts of us, not overdo things in one direction or another. The associated plant is the magnolia, which most magically blooms before the leaves are born. Within a day, the plant goes from nearly bare to a triumph of flowers shining in the evening light like little fairy cups. It makes me think of I don't know who said it. I don't know from whence it came, but it's a quote. And it's something about a flower. Like if a flower dies in that environment, you don't blame the flower for dying. You change the environment so that the flower has the opportunity to grow. I feel like there is a change of environment, a change of yeah, power, because it feels like you were disempowered and now you are being empowered. Well, yeah. I mean, you look at, to go back to the whole childhood thing from that card, you look at people like Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift. I mean, they had families that stood behind them and supported them and could financially afford to, encourage their children to be the very best versions of themselves. And, what a blessing that we have the opportunity to, bear witness to such healthy, the results of a healthy upbringing that is not only, blessed by the gods, but is also, blessed by the earth in a way that, when you pull those two together, wow, beautiful, brilliant, amazing. Hey, Mama, you coming in? Yeah, you coming in? Come on. Oh, you just gonna sit there? Come on. Oh my gracious. All right. Sorry. She's scratching at the door. She changed her mind. I think she just wanted to make sure I was there. She gets nervous. Okay. So, anyways, protection from things that ought not be. Bringing together a reality with a vision, because it's not being overpowered by illusion and deception. And the keepers of their chaos. The moon, the Queen of Wands, the Lovers, and the Six of Swords. I mean, that's usually like you're moving, right? The Six of Swords is just heading in a whole nother direction. And it does feel like that in a really big way. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that you trusted your intuition. You trusted your nervous system. You moved when you knew it was time to move. You protected yourself when you knew it was time to protect yourself. And I feel like there is this sense of protection around you that is enabling you to step forward. Queen of Wands, the Lovers. I mean, this is a call to action. The Lovers can be a relationship card. None of this necessarily feels like a relationship. So I think it'll just depend on where you are in the story and, how it is all playing out for you in your life individually. Because the Lovers is also a choice card, right? And I feel like there's this choice to call in protection, protect yourself. But I feel like there's this sense of in protecting yourself, like the illusion and the deception have been blocked out. They're boxed out. And you're able to really, I just feel like connect to yourself, because there is that like as above, so below. But I feel like part of that illusion and deception has really been like wrapped around your as above, in a way that is, like very negatively impacted your as below. And I feel like once that illusion and deception is removed, you'll be able to connect yourself to yourself, and not feel so disconnected from yourself. However, that's exhibiting itself for you in your life. I'm sure it will exhibit itself differently for all of us, because we all connect with ourselves differently, right? Some people it's music, some people it's writing, some people it's painting or creating, gardening, growing things, building things. We all have our own means of reconnecting to self. Seven of Wands, Nine of Wands, and Nine of Cups. Yeah, I really do feel like this, because the idea of the Nine of Cups in this deck is the idea that, like when things are good, they're good. When things are bad, they're bad, but they're never really all one thing or another. And I just feel like that illusion and deception has like left a lot of us wondering, is there ever really going to be any good from any of this? And I feel like, yes, there is freedom and liberation, from the deceit. There's freedom and liberation from the illusion. There's freedom and liberation from environments where you feel like you have to protect yourself. Ace of Cups, Three of Cups, and the Emperor. Well, I mean, I love that. I mean, the Emperor is like decided and action and strength, and there's celebration, there's new relationships. I mean, I could be, maybe you guys are meeting somebody on the other side of all of this. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. Like, is it possible that somebody you already know? I have no idea. Because I do want to point out, like, and I said this yesterday in yesterday's read, because we got I don't remember what it was, like Nine of Clovers or something, but it's about the idea of like knowing who your real friends are, knowing who you can trust, like, and love being on the other side of that. And I'll say it again, but I feel like the most beneficial love that I've ever had in my life outside of my children has come from my friends. You know what I mean? Because I know that my friends are the ones who would never put me in situations that I don't want to be in. My friends are the ones who, like if somebody did me dirty, would have something to say about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, I have not had that experience in romantic. Well, I mean, I won't say I haven't had that experience in romantic relationships at all. I've had some really beautiful ones, but never that had the stamina or the elasticity of my friends' friends, you know? Ace of Hearts. The fox in close proximity augurs distrust of acquaintances who are seeking to betray you. Distant, less danger. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like that could be that that energy that like enters your field, where you just feel like this immediate like shut down, close your energy off, don't allow the energy to flow through you or around you. You have to protect it. So I don't know. I feel like that was in a read the other day too. Just like like those people who freeze you and you're like you can't breathe because you're just like, oh my god, anxiety, fear. Leap like you mean it. Well, I mean, I don't know what's happening specifically, individually, across the board. But I do know that there is an idea of really just like bubbling out some things that just leave you feeling triggered and betrayed. And like, what about, well, I feel like this one, like what about my my issues have held me captive in these types of situations? And how can I protect myself moving forward so that I don't find myself in these cycles of unhealthy situations? Um, and I feel like for whatever reason, there's like this group of people that rallies around you that somehow offer you a sense of protection in a way that I feel like is almost that, like that release of that illusion and deception that was serving as an obstacle to you in your ability to connect your vision to your reality. However, that plays out for you as an individual, it will resonate differently for all of us. If this does resonate with you, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.